Hey, Shalom, this is the brother Bai. You're back here once again. Before I get started, like always, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakha HaKadosh. Double honors to my teachers, the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. I want to touch on the fact that one ability that we should learn in this truth is having a keen eye, all right? That's one thing we should possess, an ability we should possess and learn to possess and get better at it, all right? Strengthen that ability of having a keen eye. Um, the picture that I have up on the screen is of an eagle, right? And a lot of times we use the eagle um, to describe Esau, right? As being high and mighty, all right, having pride. But just because the scriptures tie an eagle with Esau, the scriptures also tie an eagle with wisdom, right? Being wise, because it's at the end of the day, an eagle is just another one of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah's beautiful creatures, right? That was created. So there's nothing wrong with being like an eagle in some of its traits. Okay, you don't want to have the pride and think that you're all high and mighty like an eagle, because we know that the Most High is going to humble the proud. But you do want to have a keen eye like the eagle has, right? When you go into the eyesight of an eagle, it's going to tell you that the eagles have the sharpest eyes within the animal kingdom, all right? And their eyesight is like 4 to 8 times stronger than the average human's eyesight. Matter of fact, let me go to this Wikipedia pull up real quick. It talks about how sharp their eyesight is, how sharp their eyesight is, and it says it even goes into their color vision, right? For instance, it says eagles can identify 5 distinctly colored squirrels and locate their prey even if hidden. So that's spiritual power within itself, having that unique type of eyesight to be able to see multiple colors within one thing, within one creature or object, and even being able to see that creature or object even if it's hidden. All right, that's laser sharp spiritual power vision. Now, when you go into having a keen eye, scriptures speak about how wisdom is a gift, being circumspect. All these things are gifts from on high, from Yahweh Shem Shai. So having a keen eye is a form of spiritual power, because it's power that's been given from on high, from the spiritual realm, right? And you want to have a keen eye. You want to be able to assess situations, assess people, assess the things that you dove into, all right, or interactions you have, or things you experience. Whatever you go through or experience, or anything that you do or come across, you want to assess that situation. You want to assess that person. You want to assess everything with a keen eye, right? We have this wisdom. We've been blessed and gifted with this wisdom from Yahweh Shem Shai, and it's a precious gift. You shouldn't take it for granted. So you're not getting this wisdom just to not use it, okay? You can have brothers that's been in the truth for a decade and still don't possess a keen eye. Now, when you go into the etymology of the word keen, right, I'm going to pull it up, all right? It says bold, brave, fearless, right? So, you have a fearless eye, but the point I want to touch on, it says a skillful and wise, right? Skillful and wise, right? Intelligent, prudent, clever. So in the truth, you should be clever. You should be prudent. You should be wise. You should be intelligent. You should be skillful. All right. And a skillful man, he knows when to attack a situation, when to attack a person, when to not attack a situation, when to not attack a person. It's just like when we're out teaching on the highways and byways. It's a skill that we've been gifted with. It's a form of spiritual power to be able to break down these strongholds and break down these scriptures and bring out these precepts, all right, and show people the truth of Yahweh Shem Shai. But we're skillful, men. We're wielding a sword, which is the Bible, a spiritual sword, And you can end up cutting yourself with the Bible. The scriptures call it two-edged sword. But you know, being a skillful man with the truth, you don't deal with everybody the same. You should be able to assess and have a keen eye of who's coming up to camp, all right? Whether it be a scoffer or whether it be somebody that's apt to learn and listening. You can't deal with nobody the same. You have to assess who you're dealing with and know how to come at them, all right? Sometimes you can run somebody off just by you not handling, the word right, not being skillful with the word that you've been given, not having a keen eye, a sharp eye, an intelligent eye, a prudent eye, a wise eye, right? Let me go over to the book of, what is that? The book of Daniel, chapter 1, right? So over here in the book of Daniel, chapter 1, verse, let's see. Let's start at verse 3. This is Daniel chapter 1, verse 3. And the king spoke unto Ashpenaz, the master of his eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored, and skillful in all wisdom, right? Skillful in wisdom, knowing when to speak, when not to speak. A scripture say even a fool is accounted wise when he holdeth his tongue, right? Skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge. Cunning, right? A cunning individual, they can see where you're headed before you even get there. They can lay traps for you before you even get there. Esau is cunning in a way. That's another reason why he's likened as an eagle and a serpent, right? But let me get a precept real quick. because you can be cunning in wickedness and also be cunning in righteousness, right? But matter of fact, let me finish reading this Daniel before I get to cunning. So the children that the king, the eunuchs were going to get, the head eunuch was going to find for the king to serve. They were skillful in wisdom, cunning in knowledge, understood science. And when you later read on in this chapter, it talks about how these children were of Judah. They were Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, right? Okay, so from there, where did I want to get? Speaking on cunning, right? Because like I said, you can be cunning in wickedness, but you can also be cunning in righteousness. And the Lord wants men that are cunning in righteousness. So let's get 2 Chronicles chapter 2, right? Chapter 2, verse 7, right? It says, let's start at verse 5. 2 Chronicles chapter 2, verse 5. And the house which I build is great, for great is our power, Yahweh, above all gods. But who is able to build him a house, seeing the heaven and heaven of heavens cannot contain him? Who am I then that I should build an house unto him, save only to burn sacrifice before him? Send me now therefore a cunning man to work in gold, and in silver, and in brass, and in iron, and in purple, and in crimson, and blue, and that can skill to grave with the cunning men that are with me in Judah and Jerusalem, whom David my father did provide. So Solomon wanted cunning men to help him build the temple that he was prophesied to build for Yahweh, right? So when you go into the etymology of the word cunning, right, just to give some edification on that, it says learned, skillful, possessing knowledge, right? So you can be skillful in deceit, or you can be skillful in possessing the truth. So we have to be cunning in how we do things, man. So it all goes back to being wise, right? The scriptures say what? Be wise of let me get that. Let me get that real quick. Bear with me 1 second over here in let's see what that's at. Behold, this is Matthew chapter 10, verse 16. It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. And when you're wise, you have a keen eye, you have a sharp eye, you assess situations. A lot of times, the 2/3 of the nation of Israel, these wicked niggas, all right, they get themselves in bad situations out of being hasty, prideful, egotistical, rash, not being able to control their anger, their lust, right? And they don't have keen eyes. They don't possess wisdom. They don't possess discernment, right? So they just act. It could be an environment that doesn't benefit them, right? But they're still going to act in that environment just based off of their pride and ego. And then they act, and then in turn, that turns out to be their destruction, their downfall, all right? It hinders them, right? Because they didn't assess the situation. They didn't possess a keen eye. Us as being the prophets of the Lord, servants of the Lord, and, growing in His truth, we have to learn to possess a keen eye with everything that we indulge in, whether it be a woman that you want to partake in. You don't just get with a woman just because you can't control your loins, right? You may get horny, as men, you got your testosterone built up, but you don't want to just bring a woman into your life just solely based off the fact that you're horny. Come on, man. What sense does that fucking make? You still have to assess the woman that she is. You still have to make sure she's of good quality, or else you're going to be bringing wickedness and demons into your life. A lot of these women have been scarred. They've been through a lot of trauma. They've been through a lot of situations, and they've been indoctrinated with the Queen of Heaven worship spirit. All right, they've been indoctrinated with ways that are contrary to the ways of the scriptures of what a woman is supposed to be. So here it is, you just chase after a woman because you're lustful and you're horny, and you bring her into your life, and now she brings problems into your life. She brings a baby daddy. She brings violence. She brings stress. She brings digging in your pockets all the damn time. Whatever the situation may be, not even just women, all right? Situations at your job. You have to know when to act a certain way and when not to act a certain way, when to speak up, when not to speak up. With everything that you do, you have to have a keen eye in it. Even with young brothers that's crossing over the line and coming over, to camp and coming over, crossing the line and joining brothers in this ministry, you have to learn when to bring out a precept, when not to bring out a precept. Learn, even if you don't get called to bring out your precept, that's okay. Have a keen eye to be able to assess the situation and know where the spirit is going, know what's going on, and just, play your part. You know what I'm saying? That's a wise man. A wise man knows when to use his tongue and when to keep his tongue. A fool don't know how to keep his tongue. A fool will try to talk over other brothers, talk over other men, just because he wants to get his point out. He don't have no patience. He don't have no temperance. So he just going, he has no control over his spirit. He just want to, I know I learned something, so I just want to say it, right? That's a fool for you, man. Or behaving like a fool. We don't want to behave like fools. We want to behave as cunning, wise, skillful, circumspect, prudent men, right? Even it tells you that over here in James, the 1st chapter. Let's get it. Okay? James chapter 1. Let's read it. James chapter 1. Let's go down to verse 26. It says, if any man among you seem to be religious and bridleth not his tongue, but deceiveth his own heart, this man's religion is vain. So you got to have control over your tongue. You got to have control over your spirit. All right? And that comes with having a keen eye. Being able, the scriptures say, examine thyself that thou be in the truth. When you go into that word examine, it means to scrutinize closely, to look at yourself closely, to bring the mirror to yourself closely and look at your own impurities, your own faults, your own shortcomings, things that you need to get better at in the truth. And as a man, growing within the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And it takes a keen eye to spot out those things, right? It takes a wise man to spot out his own faults, right? And act upon improving and getting better at those faults, so he doesn't stay in the same stagnant place that he began in, Another one of the beautiful definitions in the etymon of keen was prudent, right? Now we can go over the Proverbs and get 2 heavy hitters that deals with having prudence, right? Let's get Proverbs chapter 8 first. Proverbs chapter Salakia. Proverbs chapter 8, and let's read verse 12. It says, I wisdom, let's start at verse 11. It says, matter of fact, let's start at verse 10. It says, receive my instruction and not silver, and knowledge rather than the choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, right? And it's very hard to get pure rubies, okay? So getting wisdom is even more precious than that, according to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So this is a gift that we've been given. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. So the average nigga running around out here, he doesn't possess wisdom. So when we see these foolish niggas doing certain things, because they're not prudent, they don't have a keen eye, they're not skillful, they're not wise, they're not circumspect, they're not sharp. All right? Like what's that saying? You're not the sharpest tool in the shed. Salakim, nigga's very dull. He's the dullest tool in the shed. But anyways, so nothing can be compared with wisdom. Continuing, verse 12, it says, I wisdom dwell with prudence and find out knowledge of witty inventions. So wisdom, this is the Lord saying wisdom dwells with prudence, right? Let's get another heavy hitter that deals with prudence. We're going to stay in Proverbs, the 27th chapter, right? Over here in Proverbs, chapter 27, and let's read verse 12. Let's go down to verse 12. It says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. So when you're prudent and you're wise and you're circumspect and you're able to assess the situation, assess what's going on in the world, you're watching the prophecies, you're watching the people around you, you're watching your own actions and how you move, you know when to move, when not to move, where to go, where not to go, when to pray, you know what I'm saying? Which you should pray without ceasing, but you understand what I'm saying. These are the things that are going to, when the scriptures say wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of thy times, this is what it means, right? Possessing a keen eye, learning to possess a keen eye. And you rehearse these things now, so when situations in your environment are amplified, you're able to tackle the situation. Yes, it may be tougher than what you may have dealt with before that situation was amplified, but you still know how to attack it. You still have the necessary abilities and tools, for lack of a better word, to attack that situation and overcome that situation. If you have a keen eye, you're able to assess that situation. So, just like before Jacob's trouble, you might have had a situation where you got into an argument with somebody and you say, you know what, this situation doesn't benefit me no way, either way. So I'm gonna just remove myself from the situation. I'm gonna take the humble road and just remove myself from you in this whole situation. I'm not going to say anything derogatory towards you, and I'm not going to, antagonize the demons within you. I'm going to remove myself. Well, now that you've been rehearsing these things, when you go into Jacob's trouble and situations are amplified, you know when to bridle your tongue. You know when to remove yourselves from certain dangerous situations that don't benefit you, or certain situations that would be your detriment or make your journey harder than what it has to be. So, brothers, we have to learn to have a keen eye, learn to possess a keen eye. I can make this video 40 minutes if I want to, but, there's no need. The point is, learn to possess a keen eye and keep, getting better at that. Every day you wake up, it's a new day, new experiences. Even if you're around the same people at your job, you have a different experience. And you always learn, use that ability of having a keen eye and just assess what's going on around you, man. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. Until the next time I say, Shalom.